What's up, guys? It's Patricia from tarantulaheaven.com. Welcome to Tarantula Tuesday. This is Miss Spidey, my grammostola rosea, and today we're actually going to talk about Spidey, and I want to share her greatest interior design projects with you. Now, Spidey is very well known on her Tumblr blog for her digging and interior design. Before I even got into making these really beautiful, or at least I think they're beautiful, elaborate tank designs for her, she was actually doing quite a bit of this on her own. She would dig tunnels, she would move things around in her tank, she would stack things on top of each other to make new creations. She would completely rearrange the terrain. And so she became very, very well known for her construction projects and her demolitions. And so I would just like to share with you some of her greatest projects from over the years. I hope that you will see that over the years, her style has really evolved and it has definitely refined, and she's definitely gotten a lot more finesse as she becomes a greater interior design with practice. But it might be fun to share because you guys really like learning about Spidey's weird behaviors and silly things that she does. And hopefully Spidey might move for you during this video. I've just been making a few videos today and she's been in the same exact spot all day. So I hope that she'll move for you because I think this angle really lets you see her, but we'll see. Anyway. So Spidey hasn't done a lot of digging in a while, but every now and then she will go into these really crazy digging phases where she'll just dig. And she loves to rearrange dirt in her tank. Now, don't tell her, Spidey, don't listen. Don't tell her this, but Spidey's not actually very good at digging. I do have an Arizona blonde who is a little slang, who is a digging master. They can make all these crazy elaborate tunnels. Spidey is not like that. She has never tunneled. I don't think her species is really well known for tunneling, but she has tried to make tunnels before. And they always tend to collapse, or they're just not very stable. But she does occasionally like to dig. Mostly what she will do when she wants to dig is that she will pile up dirt in certain areas of her enclosure, or she'll take a corner and she'll dig in the corner. She's not really one for tunneling, which is pretty good actually because she's not very good at it. But bless her heart, she tries anyway. She does what makes her happy, and that's what counts, right? Now, Spidey may not be very good at digging, but what she is really good at doing is webbing. Now, Tarantula, like Spidey, is not a heavy webber, so she's a Chilean rosehair. This species is not well known for their webbing. Spidey doesn't web like an avic or a spider like that, but what she does do is she makes these really beautiful web carpets. So over time, her webs are very, very thin, so it takes quite a while to notice. But over time, you will start to see it almost looks like a little thin layer of snow on the ground. It's just like this beautiful web carpet, and she'll do it all over her tank. And it's really cool because if you lift it, it kind of comes up all in one. And she hasn't done it so much in this enclosure, but in her old enclosure, she would web quite a bit. She also makes really, really beautiful multing mats. They'd be very, very solid, very thick, just beautiful. And often I would just leave them in the tank because even after her molt, she would love to go back to the multing mat and just lay on it. She really would get attached to her webs, and she would really like to stay in those corners of her tank where she was making the webs. And I do remember one time when I first got her during the first year, and this is probably the first time I saw her really web, was she had a log, actually this log, and I had the log against a certain part of the tank, and she would web herself into her tunnel, right? And she would put dirt against it. And so I thought she was molting in there, but she wasn't. She was just hanging out, trying to be in a dark space alone. And then one time I remember she webbed up and put dirt in the log to seal it, but she was on the outside. And it was really funny because it was almost like she had this moment of I locked myself out of my tunnel with my web, and she had to break it apart. And yeah, So sometimes Spidey doesn't think before she acts, but that's okay because she's cute. Let's see. She has also, one time she did something really weird with her webs. She used to have a mini tank that I would put in her enclosure to feed her in because she really struggled with eating for a while. And she would web up this part of the tank too. And one day I went up to her tank and I saw that she had actually rolled her webs into a burrito-like object. I have no idea how she did this, to be honest. I wish I did because it was like the weirdest thing that I saw, and I have not seen her do that to date. I have no idea why she did it. It lasted about 24 hours and she was very attached to this web burrito that she made, and then she completely ruined it. She tore it apart, and then that was the end of that. I still don't know why she did that. Some people are saying that maybe it was like a false egg sac or something, but it wasn't, because those webs had already been there, and I don't think she thought it was an egg sac. I have no idea, guys. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so that was really weird. Luckily, I got a few pictures of it, but unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures of when she was actually creating it, which makes me really sad. She also really loves to bury things. So she has, you see this jar lid right here. She has, in the past, turned it vertical and buried it vertically, which was really weird. I'm not sure how she did that, but she figured it out. She also really loves to fill things up with dirt and sit in them. So in the past, I have given her several water dishes, which she all filled with dirt and then laid in them. In the past, I gave her a teacup, which she filled with dirt. She spent like a whole day filling it with dirt. And then she laid in it and made a little bed out of it. It was so precious. I'm so glad I have pictures of that, because like otherwise no one would believe me, right? Because it's so precious. But that was really cool. She also at one point had a seashell that I gave her, and she also filled that with dirt. And I eventually had to take the seashell away from her because Spidey, while she does a lot of silly, foolish things, she's actually pretty smart in her own spider way. And Spidey realized that she could use her ball to get up on her seashell and then try to get up onto the roof of her tank. And so I had to take the seashell away from her because she was using it for naughty things. And that brings me to other things. Like sometimes Spidey does things that makes me really wonder if she has intelligence. I know I've made videos about this before and kind of concluded that right now we don't think that spiders have any intelligence, or at least tarantulas don't. But when she stacked the ball to climb on the seashell, I really began to wonder, and she's done things like that before. She has, on the other side of this tank, a bottle cap that she loves. And she, one time, took her ping pong ball, put it in the bottle cap because it was turned over so it was concave, and then she used that to climb. So she stacked the ball onto the bottle cap and then climbed onto the ball. And so that kind of, I mean, yes, it's possible that it is a complete coincidence that these things just fit together really well, and she put them in that order, and then she realized that she could climb. But that's kind of weird, isn't it? So I don't know. Something's going on in there. It makes me think. Not much, maybe, but something. And she's also done some other funny things, like she does move her bottle cap around, her ping pong ball around. She has tried to do like a Superman on her ping pong ball before, which was really precious. Every now and then I try to put something in her tank just to see how she'll react to it. I will take it out once I think that it's causing her stress. But if it's not, and especially like I won't do anything that's dangerous for her, but at one point I had a little rubber bunny in there, which she tolerated for a while, and then I realized she didn't like it all because she started to move it around her tank, tried to bury it, tried to throw it into a corner. So the bunny didn't last. And I also had like a toy Halloween decoration that was a big black spider, looked like a black tarantula. And I wanted to see how she might interact with this. And this thing was in her tank for several weeks, and she paid no mind to it. But then one day, all of a sudden, it was like she finally realized it was there, and she was not happy. She started to bury it didn't like it at all. I think at one point she tried to put her water dish on top of it, so that came out of the tank. So that is one thing about tarantulas that if you don't have one, you may not know, but it's that if they don't like something that you put in their tank, you'll know, because they'll tell you. They will ruin it. They will, I don't know, they'll do some crazy stuff. So Spidey is a budding interior designer. She's always doing something really cute. And I hope that in sharing this makes you laugh, makes you smile, makes you appreciate Spidey, but also helps you see that tarantulas are a lot more than, I guess, we're shown in a lot of different ways. They're not how we depict them in movies, you know, being these scary, crazy creatures. They're not just things to collect. They're not just something that we, you know, we want the most rare and most exotic species. These creatures are actually super interesting. And I honestly, like, yes, I find the care and the keeping really rewarding, but honestly, like, the most enriching parts of this hobby have been the times that I've caught Spidey or Blinky doing something really weird. Like, those are the times where I'm like, this is why I love these creatures, because they're so weird. And, you know, I think that for any of us who sometimes feel weird at times, they're kind of like our spider soulmates. So, yes, I definitely wanted to make this little video because it's a collection of Spidey's greatest hits as far as her tank designs. And I'm sure that there will be more to come. Spidey is very creative in her own way. And yeah, so I hope that you guys like this video. Let me know what your favorite thing was. Actually, let me know if your spiders do any of this stuff too, or what their craziest things have been, because I think that tarantula behavior is so fascinating. So let me know, and I hope that, you know, maybe in a year or two I'll be making a part 2 to this to show even more of her best designs. Anyway, guys, take care. I hope you're enjoying the weather, and have a great Tarantula Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.